6 people only competed in Classic. In a show, it used to be at least 30 or 40 people to compete at. I wonder why. Why do you think, guys?
What's up guys and welcome. You are watching Fuzzy Fitness. So more than 2 years ago, Fabiony Sylvian came onto the scene. And everyone who saw his structure, his aesthetics, the way he was put up together, they immediately saw his potential that he will be on the Classic Physique Mr. Olympia stage very soon. Unfortunately, it took him more than 2 years to even step on a Classic Physique stage. And he finally got his ticket to the Classic Physique Mr. Olympia stage. And we are gonna see him on that grand stage in October. And the reason it took him that long was because it was nearly impossible for him to make the weight cutoff, especially with those old classic regulations, especially with those old weight caps. And that really made him jump into the men's open bodybuilding at one point. That was back in 2022. And he did Puerto Rico Pro in the men's open class. But he did not have that kind of structure, that kind of mass, to battle with those mass monsters, especially guys like Hassan Mustafa. And from that time in 2022 to today, when he won his first ever Classic Physique show, so many things happened in between. And that also included his retirement from the professional bodybuilding. Yes, he retired from all sorts of competitive bodybuilding. And then making a comeback from that point, competing here at Charlotte Cup, and winning his first ever Classic Physique show on his first attempt. Yes, this was his Classic Physique debut. This has been quite a ride for Fabiony. I guess this is how you announce yourself. And Fabiony just did that. And it wasn't like this was a small lineup. He beat almost 20 guys with perfect scores to punch his ticket to the Olympia 2024. And he looked absolutely spectacular here. His conditioning was spot on. And more important than that, he was able to hold on to a lot of fullness, which was the main concern regarding him. Whether he's going to be able to hold on to that fullness while he diets down, while he gets shredded inside out. And now that he is qualified for Mr. Olympia, we are going to finally see that battle. Him versus Logan Franklin on that grand stage. So a huge congratulations to Fabiony on this victory. And we cannot wait to see what he brings to the grand stage in October at the Olympia in 2024. Now let's talk about the big show, the results of the Arnold Classic South America 2024, as the finals just concluded. As expected, Rafael Brandao becomes the king of Brazil, winning in his hometown for second time in his career. So all that hard work, all that time that Rafael Brandao took off after the Olympia 2022, that really paid off. And keep in mind, this is only gonna be his second Mr. Olympia of his entire professional career. So I think he's gonna rest up for some days and look forward to a solid off-season before the prep begins for the Olympia 2024. Unless he changes his mind and go for Detroit Pro, which is happening next week. And that is gonna be really something. But the chances of that happening are kinda slim. I think he's gonna take a step back, go back into an off-season, and see how much improvements he can make up until the Olympia this year. Because at this point in his mind and in Neil Hill's mind, who is coaching him, the aim is to win the Sandow. It isn't to win multiple pro shows. Now, all that being said, was that an easy win for Rafael Brandao? So from the stream, it looked like Rafael was clearly leading over Tonio Burton and Goodvito. But the pictures showed kinda different story. If we had to take a pick on who brought the overall better conditioning, then the answer would be Tonio Burton. And he was even better for the finals. Especially compared to the prejudging, he was a lot more fuller. And he was showcasing more detail, especially in his legs. His legs looked a lot more separated. And I have to say, Rafael Brandao was pushed so damn hard, especially by Tonio Burton for the win here. And Tonio and his coach Jacoby, they should be super proud of the package that they brought here on the stage tonight. The quad sweep on Tonio Burton is so impressive. I mean, his quads were looking bigger than Rafael Brandao on that stage. And that is saying something, because Rafael Brandao outweighs him by 30 plus pounds. And it isn't like Rafael Brandao is a mass monster. He is also an aesthetic guy, he's also a shape guy. So could this have gone in Tonio's favor? Yes, I have to say an argument could have been made in his favor, definitely. And if you guys check the comments of some of the bodybuilding pages, there are some guys who are saying that Tonio Burton should have won this show. And the reason is he was clearly beating Rafael Brandao in those back shots. His back double bicep is just bonkers. And the way the man opens up for that back lat spread shot, that is just nuts. I mean, he was beating Rafael Brandao in both these shots, and quite convincingly. But all that being said, I still had Rafael Brandao winning this show because more poses were going in his favor. And the reason is he is just as athletic as Tonio Burton. He has amazing shape, and he brought a very good conditioning tonight. I think his conditioning here was definitely better than the Arnold Ohio. But I will make a separate comparison video of him at the Arnold Classic Ohio versus Arnold Brazil. But here at the Arnold Brazil, because of that combination of size, symmetry, aesthetics, and the fact that he's tall, plus the conditioning that he brought, that was enough for the judges to give him the title. Now let's talk about the breakout star of the show, Goodvito. And really that was a star treatment for him tonight at his pro debut. And he truly deserved that. But a performance by Goodvito at his pro debut, it was well worth the wait. I mean, the guy was individually compared to both Tonio Burton and Rafael Brandao in two separate callouts. And that was truly spectacular. His stage presence was superb, his confidence was amazing, and he really held his own against both these guys, who by the way are top 10 Olympians. He was dry, he was shredded, and all in all that was a very good pro debut by Goodvito. And props to his coach Chris Acito as well, for dialing him in perfectly. Man, his rear lat spread is so awesome. He was clearly beating a guy like Rafael Brandao in that shot. And the reason I am hyping up this guy is because so many people had this concern about him. Will he be able to bring up his back, especially up to a point, to go up against the top guys? And the man really showed his worth here. And if we take a look at that back lat spread shot, the drastic difference in those hamstrings of these two guys was so evident. We all heard Tyler Mannion saying that Rafael Brandao really doesn't have any weak poses. But here he got beat by a rookie in the rear lat spread shot. And not only just in the legs department, but the upper back was so impressive as well. And this isn't a knock on Rafael Brandao, but a praise for Goodvito and how good and how improved his back was this time. Because he seemed to have more density than Rafael Brandao in that shot. So he's a very young guy, and all he needs is more time to fill out his frame, to bring some overall more density in his frame. And he is going to be a force to be reckoned with in the future. And I'm sure he must have turned so many naysayers into his fans tonight. So a huge congratulations to Goodvito on his pro debut. And next up is Detroit Pro for him, which is happening next weekend, and nobody's gonna sleep on him. Because the man has got a very good shot at winning this show and get his Olympia qualification. So William Martins placed fourth here, and really no surprise there. He was up against three guys with great aesthetics with superb symmetry. So this was always gonna be a very hard battle for William Martins. But nonetheless, the good thing is that he was able to bring a shredded look this time, unlike last year, where he came in really off. So that's it from the Arnold Classic Brazil. What did you guys think about the results here? Was it a close battle between Tonio Burton and Rafael Brandao? Do let me know in the comments below.
I feel really sorry for guys who are prepping for 3-4 months and then they end up not treated well or not competing in a show they get respected. This is really need to change, man. People really need to speak up. I know this might piss some people off, but I don't give a I'm from this. Athletes really need support. Really need to get treated well. That's not the way to treat an IFBB pro or even an amateur athlete. That's not a show you want to compete at.
Next up, I have a really tragic and bad news that has been floating around on the social media about how a top Classic Physique Olympian, Michael Daboul, got physically assaulted by a bunch of guards backstage at Two Bros Pro events in UK. So he has a partially broken nose and a few broken ribs as well. Apparently his situation occurred after Michael Daboul called out the event organizers for charging so much money to watch one category than what people paid at this past Arnold Classic for a 3-day pass. I am gonna put his entire story here, because he himself said that that was the reason he got beat up, because he put it out there and he exposed them. And it is really mind-boggling that this event was in UK, and the organizers did not have any special lighting arrangement for the athletes on the stage. It seemed like minimal effort on their part, and they were charging so much money from the fans, from the spectators. And then to go to this extent, where you physically assault such a big name in the industry, that is really shameful.
At the Arnold, we pay like around $50-$60 for 3 days expo. Watch the show for all divisions, except the open, I think. Yeah, here you pay £50 to watch one category, and then you find out you need to pay for another one to watch a small show for 5 or 4 people. It's crazy, man. Yeah. Some shows really like need to grow in lighting, backstage, stage, everything. I think UK is going very much back way. Shows used to be here really good. Now it's really bad, really bad.
So Michael Daboul is still in the hospital, and let's just hope that there was nothing serious, and wishing him a very speedy recovery. So hit the thumbs up button if you liked the video, and smash the subscribe button if you wanna come back for more. Thanks for watching.